So a little project I want to get done this afternoon is actually getting this flower bed put together. So I bought this Vego Raised Flower Bed at the recommendation of another YouTube channel. These are supposed to be registered, 100% recyclable, I think, yeah, it says in the bottom corner 20 plus years life, and it was on sale. Plus, using Amazon card, I get a percentage back. So I bought this. We're gonna give it a try. I was actually hoping to get 2 of these. They sold out before I could get it ordered, so I got 1 of them. Hopefully I'm gonna add a second one before too awful long, and this will be the start of some of our raised beds. My goal is to actually get a couple of raised beds out here in the front next to where we're gonna have our you know, on the ground garden back here. And so I've got to figure out exactly where I want to put this, but I'd like to get at least 2 of them. I like the idea of being able to trellis between them for some stuff and trellis down the middle. They do make a couple different sizes of these, and you can go on their website and take a look. You can get these directly from their website or Amazon. They were both the same price when I looked. There may be benefits of going directly through their website, but we're gonna try to get these built today and see how easy it is to put together, and I'll see if I can't start attempting to fill it if I can find a good spot. All right, this is the initial opening, and what's nice is it comes with this different configurations that you can do. Oh, if I can keep it steady for you guys. It's all the different configurations, how many cubic feet that it'll hold in the different configurations. It gives all their contact information if you need help with anything. This is actually pretty great. And then it also gives you a pretty basic assembly guide, which we'll take a look at, and the packing list, which is good. So we're probably going to go with the largest configuration, and that way we've got the most room. And I think that's going to actually be the 3.5 foot by 2 foot. So good news is, whenever you open the box, it comes with everything you're going to need. It looks like, with the exception of maybe a number 2 or maybe a number 3 Phillips tip screwdriver, but it comes with this little tool for all of your cap nuts and regular nuts to put on the screws, and then it comes with the rubber banding around the top edge, which my initial thoughts is the top edge isn't really sharp. So this will be a nice to have, especially with the kids around, but I don't think this would be an absolute necessity. And so I'm gonna go run and grab a screwdriver and get ready to put this together. It's just something to point out real quick. I misunderstood when I was reading these directions initially. These are all the different configurations for just this kit, and I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention because there's a lot of different kits and different count pieces, and this is considered a 6-in-1 kit, and so I thought maybe, you know, this was the option, but it actually has a lot more pieces. So what we're actually going to be building is the 5 foot by 3.5 foot, which makes more sense because this is what I was looking at before. And so this will be 25 cubic feet of space. They're all 17 inches, and again 3.5 by 5. And so I've gone ahead and got my pieces laid out, and we're going to start trying to assemble this thing. So the first thing you're actually supposed to do with these before you start putting the pieces together is to begin peeling the coating off the edges. I'm going to actually peel those off as I go, instead of trying to get them all off ahead of time, and hopefully that's not a mistake. But I'm going to work on peeling these and getting these put together. And something to note, there are 2 different style nuts in the bag. There are just standard nuts, and there are the cap nuts.
The cap nuts are for the top 2 rows, and the regular nuts are for all the remaining rows. And the nut goes on the inside of the flower bed. Once you're assembling it, the nut goes to the inside, the bolt goes from the outside. So if you're building this, just keep that in mind so you don't do it backwards. This stuff does need a little bit of encouragement to come off. And put the screw in from the outside and put a washer on the inside. And then again, the top 2 rows of these cap nuts. And for now, I'm just going to snug these up hand tight until I get all of them run. The bottom 4 are going to be your regular nut. And so again, put your bolt in, then your washer, then the nut. And right now I'm only going to put these hand tight because I want to make sure that it's real easy to get everything lined up before snugging everything down. Alright, and that's what you're going to have when you're done. And these are still just hand finger tight right now. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting the rest of these panels all snugged up, get them peeled, and get all the bolts and stuff in. And then I'll go around and tighten everything down so that it's nice and firm. got everything kind of fit together and hand tight, and all I've got left to do is go around and snug everything down and make sure that it all is sitting like it's supposed to. But that went together pretty easy. One thing I will note is that the box says 25 minutes to assemble, and I just don't know that that's possible. I had no issues doing it by myself, and it still took me about 35 minutes just to get it to this point, and I still got to go around and snug every single one of those you know, real tight. So I think this is probably closer to a 45 minute to an hour if you're doing it by yourself. But if you had 2 people, this would go really, really quickly. So a couple of things to note as I'm kind of finishing up here. I just finished up getting all the nuts tightened down, and I started doing it by hand, and then I decided I wasn't going to do that because I have tools at my disposal to help make this faster. So a little word of advice: if you have access to it, a 10mm socket and an impact or even a ratchet would make the make this go significantly faster. And the good news is if you're using the impact, you really don't even need the screwdriver, because once they get tight, like just snug, you don't even really have to anchor this, the head side of the bolt. It pretty much takes care of itself. And so you can get a good close-up look of the assembly. This is pretty easy, no big deal. Getting it together. The little hand tool they give you, it works fine, but I do think there are easier ways. And then lastly, I've got to get the rubber piece around the top, and then I'm pretty much done building it. I just need to make sure where exactly I'm going to put it, and I think I'm going to actually move it over here, just about even with the end of the house here. And then I need to make sure that it's on level ground. I don't need it on the slanted portion, and if you notice it slants out away from the house, so right about in here it levels out. And so I think I'm going to straighten it up, get it parallel with the house, get it lined up with that corner there, and I think that's where I'm going to stick that one. And then when I get a second one just like it, I'm either going to put it back behind it, or more than likely I think I'm going to actually bring it out about 4 feet closer to the road here and set it up beside it, but we'll see. Anyways, this has been pretty easy to do. I've been very pleased with it so far. So I'm going to get the rubber piece on it. I'll do one more quick walk around, and then if I've got any daylight left, I may try to start putting some stuff in it. All right, I finally got it finished up. Got this nice rubber edge on the top. This was actually a really nice little addition. So don't know how long it'll last. I don't know if it will last the 20+ years that the the steel piece is rated to last, but even if it lasts just a couple of years, these are nice to help keep those sharp edges down. One thing to note, if you're building this, you will need something to cut this rubber piece with, as it's a little longer than necessary, I guess, in case you mess it up, or maybe the different configurations. But you will need something to cut that down with. A pair of pliers probably work, maybe even heavy scissors. But anyways, there's a little piece of metal inside there that help keep the form, so you'll have to be able to cut through that. So yeah, that's it. We'll see how it goes. I'll try and do some follow-up stuff on this as I get some time using it. And just based on the construction and the build, I definitely intend to get another one of these. I originally wanted 2, but these feel sturdy enough that once they're full, I don't think this is going to want to bow out or anything. So very nice, very pleased. We're going to get this set and see if I can't get a little bit of stuff in it to keep it weighted down, because the area up here is a little windy, and while that's pretty heavy, the winds up here, well, there's a barn over there without a roof, so we'll make sure we get something in here tonight to keep this weighted down. My intention is actually to put in some scrap wood and leaves and stuff in the bottom, and then I'm gonna go grab the tractor and put in a scoop or 2 of the mulch in here, And then I've got to get some topsoil. I don't have any right now, but at least that's a start, and that'll hopefully begin to compost over the winter and break down a little bit. And that way, once I get some soil in on top of it, you know, I don't have too much of the nitrogen issues that you can sometimes have as things are composting. So we'll get that going and see what's next. Some of the brush that I pulled up the other day, this is what I'm going to dump into the bottom of that thing. Get some of this stuff in here and see how it looks. All right, we got our sticks and stuff in here, and we'll go grab a quick pile of mulch and dump that on here. And I'll probably over the coming weeks and stuff put some of the food scraps that the chickens can't have in here, and I might even go get my composter. I have a small tumbler style composter that I've been putting stuff in for months, since before we ever moved. I started trying to compost at our other house. So I brought all that with me, and I'm probably just going to empty that into here and let all that organic matter break down over the winter, and fingers crossed we'll have a good flower bed, you know, base to build in come next year. Since our bucket is wider than our flower bed here, I'm going to actually just pull it off by hand. The tail of a squirrel in here. How about that? All right, I got this thing about halfway full with twigs and limbs and sticks and then wood chips. And I don't want any more than that because I want to make sure that I get plenty of actual soil in here when it comes time to try and plant. But this stuff should settle quite a bit, and so hopefully we'll get some more rain here soon. Let this stuff kind of settle in a little more, and I'll come out here and, you know, try to help it
help it along. But now my mission is going to be to go find me some topsoil to put in here. And speaking of mulch, look at the chickens going to work still. These guys are out here tilling and spreading. Keep it up, girls. I'm proud of you. That's right. Alright, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So far I've been very much impressed with the flower bed. Again, this came as a recommendation through some other YouTube channels that I've follow, and I wanted to make sure I got a good quality bed. Wanted something that was going to last. I also wanted one that wasn't necessarily treated with harsh chemicals or, you know, toxic paint or any of that sort of stuff, which most of them aren't, but I wanted something a little bit better than just a plain galvanized flower bed, and this checked all the boxes. Definitely encourage anybody that's interested to go do some research. I'll probably link their website in the description. If anybody has any feedback or advice going forward, or any other flower beds that you think are worth, you know, checking into, please let me know. This is the beginning of what I hope to be a, you know, pretty decent sized raised flower bed area, and I'm going to kind of build it over time. So if there's some other options that are equal or better in quality, I'm very much interested in giving those a try. And I may even, you know, try and build some if the lumber prices come down. Or I've actually seen some stuff on building some brick ones, and I've got a lot of the brick that color from the original construction of the house that I found back on the property. So I bet I've got enough to build a couple of raised beds out of brick. So I might give that a try. We'll see. I got to do some research on that first. But anyways, you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.